What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome to the show. It's another fucking Wednesday. Hump day, halfway through our week. And man, I have loaded you up with some good music this week. And you know what? I'm going to continue going on and continue going strong. Today is no different. Because I got another fucking great band with me. And we're going to have a lot more fucking fun. So let's just get right fucking to it.
In place to keep us in chains by show of hands. Who else is sick and tired of the same 1%? Trying to keep us small, trying to keep us from getting out, minimizing the struggles they've caused, saying we're not working hard enough.
We really should stop this fighting. Otherwise, we'll miss the fireworks.
There won't be any fireworks.
And here we go.
And welcome everybody to Suck It. I am the great and powerful King of Kings, Prince of all that is awesome, Derek. How the fuck are you doing today on this Wednesday, May 19th of the year that has been 2021? Woo! You know, I cannot believe we're almost halfway through this fucking year. This is insane. I mean, I don't understand how this has gone so fucking quickly. Can you explain that to me? Because I would fucking love it. I mean, it just feels like yesterday, we were, dealing with the bullshit in Washington and, this and that. And, what the fuck? I just realized something because I didn't read the fucking press release. You know what? I'm just going to bring these guys on because I need to yell at them real quick because I should have thought better about this because this is stupid. So, you know what? I'm going to get right to it because here's a band from Fairfax, Virginia. The band Weatherworn is with me today. And I'm a little pissed off because we could have done something pretty fucking cool. Because I'm in fucking Leesburg. Why did we not plan this better is my fucking question. I read the stuff about them, but I missed that part that they're 20 minutes away from me. So let's just jump into this interview because now I feel like an idiot. Let's go right to it. Here's the band Weatherworn.
What's going on?
I am 20 fucking minutes from you. We could have done this together in the same spot.
We'll have to do it again.
We're going to have to because that's, oh my God. See, and literally I was just over in your neck of the woods. I was at Fairfax, the fucking mall with my daughter at Dave & Buster's.
Oh, nice.
And I literally rushed home to make sure I got here in time for this.
Well, part of the band is in the Winchester area, and then like the rest of the guys are more that way. Like we're kind of split up, but yeah, it's still not very far either way.
Man, that's funny as shit.
Yeah, that's awesome though. We have friends in Leesburg, so
Yeah,
nice.
I read the fucking press release and I read it, but I did not. I for some reason just happened to glance over that, and when I just pulled it up to introduce you guys, I was like, oh, you know what? This is stupid. Why? So, that was an interesting introduction. So, so they have a new release coming out called Jets to Muncy, featuring AJ Perdomo. This, the track is fucking sick. I've listened to it. It's badass. And damn, I cannot believe we missed such a good opportunity. But it's okay. We're going to do something again. Because that would be cool shit. I'm sure Mike would love that too. So hey guys, how has everything been going? I mean, especially up here, we've gotten some great news, recently in the music world. Blue Ridge Fest is pretty much fucking sold out already. Um, so yeah, and it was literally what? Now it's just what? Not even 2, 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean,
It
I
was
think
it
everybody's
sold out
so
like that.
yeah. I think a lot of people are just dying for live music. So like as soon as stuff starts really opening up, everybody's just gonna dive at it. I think it's gonna be a perfect time for like bands and musicians to really like just shine. Like I
Oh
feel
yeah,
like you know,
especially the the indie bands, the indie label bands, and the distribution labeled bands. Those bands right there are really in for a whole hell of a lot because they're the only ones that have really kind of been hanging around the last year.
yeah,
You know, all of the big name label bands have kind of abandoned us, and there's a reason behind it because their management and their labels all about the fucking music and they can't tour and that's the only way they make money. So we're not going to give you new music if we can't tour it. Blah 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 blah. But it's been a blessing in disguise for bands like yours where now if you put something out people are craving it. So it's not crazy for an indie band to reach the top 10 in iTunes or the top 10 in fucking Spotify or any shit like that.
yeah. I mean, that's kind of like it's kind of like back in the day where like I remember seeing an interview with the guys from like the Red Hot Chili Peppers when like the music world kind of flipped back towards like a lot of alternative rock punk stuff and like it was like early 2000s era and they were like yeah rock music just kind of went underground and it's kind of like that like you got a lot of these indie bands that are just really just coming up with really awesome sounds really cool songs and like all these doing all this work and they've actually got this opportunity to like really shine like you said because there's not a lot of in the mainstream of things it's kind of died down a bit so now like us and I know a bunch of our friends of ours have like really just been grinding and grinding and grinding and grinding and it's been paying off a lot for a lot of these smaller bands and smaller musicians for sure.
You know, but that's just the thing. I hate the fact that rock has kind of been labeled underground. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, we've got so much good shit out there. And it's sad when, these really good bands are having to go to Japan or Europe to make a name for themselves.
Yeah.
When they just, they're homegrown talent, whether they're from Texas, Southern California, Virginia, North Carolina, or, Massachusetts, it doesn't really fucking matter. Why are we not giving those bands that deserve that shot or that are getting that shot across the pond, regardless of the pond that you're crossing? And it sucks because, all over here, it's all about the overproduced, you know, 10 fucking people to write a song and then 50 people to produce it, type music. And it's like, whatever happened to just picking up a guitar, recording it, and just saying, let's fucking do this? I remember when, right before Tom Petty passed away, he said, give me 15 minutes and an acoustic guitar, I can write a hit song. You know what I'm saying? Whatever happened to that?
I wish I could give you an answer. I
Yeah,
don't
me
know.
too.
I don't, because that's literally all I've done my entire life in music is like, I'm just going to pick up. I played acoustically mainly for most of my career, and that's literally what I did. I grabbed up acoustic guitar, wrote a bunch of songs, and then just got in a van and drove everywhere I could and played. Like, and it used to be a lot easier. Then it started to die down, and I don't know. Like, you know, I'm hoping that things turn around and people start really like looking at how hard everybody's working and they really start to appreciate that. Maybe that's what it is. It's like they're not really seeing what it takes and they're not really appreciating it. Maybe it's just I don't know the waves of the way trends are here in America. Like I feel like America's so like stuck on like oh, I got the newest iPhone, I got the newest thing. Like everything's fad based. So like if it's not the fad right there and then, like I don't care. I'm not gonna pay attention to it. Where I feel like different cultures they just appreciate what's around them. Like they appreciate the music more. They appreciate what they get and they appreciate what they got.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember, I think it was 2016, the summer of 2016, at Coachella. Volbeat was one of the the big headliners there. However, every like I watched the videos of it, and literally less than half of the amount of the crowd that was there before for some EDM band, or not even band, EDM group, was still there. And then after they left, another EDM person came on, and then the crowd was full again. It's like, it's fucking Volbeat. I mean, come on, they came all the way here from fucking Denmark. Give them some fucking respect. It's like, Jesus.
Yeah, and I think it has to do with the fads, like it really does. Like my hometown, we had this thing called Mysteryland, and it was an EDM festival that would come through, and it was crazy. Like you had people that would drive all over the country to this small town in the middle of nowhere, New York, and you know just go nuts at these EDM festivals. And we, beforehand we had like all these different we had festival there where it was like jam bands and all different, actually more than just jam bands, but like all different types of bands, whether it be a jam band, it could be like a pop punk band, it could be a country band, it could be any type of music. And like the numbers just dwindled and dwindled and dwindled. And it's really hard for me to place why, but like it just seems to be like something to do with culture in America. The American culture has always been like, oh, I'm gonna get the newest this and newest that, and I think they don't really look at it in the way that musicians look at it, or music lovers look at it.
Yeah, and I agree. And I mean, I'm kind of, there's some really good, hip hop artists and some really good pop artists and stuff like that. But because of like the whole scene surrounding it, I've kind of shut my eyes to that side of the business because of all that kind of crap. It's like, okay, you guys have plenty of fucking play. Why should I pay attention to you when you guys don't pay attention to this side? And there's been some shit like where like Kylie fucking Jenner wears a Metallica t-shirt, or stuff like that. But it's like, that doesn't really put eyes on it. Now there's a few exceptions to that, like Post Malone. He's a huge metalhead. Every time he's doing a fucking tour bus interview, he's got fucking Slayer or fucking Megadeth playing in the background, which my hat's off to him on that. So I got nothing but mad respect for that guy. Including like he's done Nirvana covers up on stage and shit like that. Fuck, that guy's badass. Then even Miley Cyrus is coming over to the dark side lately too. So it's like, okay, here we go. Now we're starting to make an impact,
So it's funny you say something like that, because like there's this whole like quote unquote emo rap culture or whatever that I see starting to boom everywhere, and a lot of those artists will literally either cover early 2000s like alternative rock songs, whatever, and like throw their own little spin on it, or they'll use samples of like brand new samples of like different type. Like the one that picks out is like brand new because that's what's in my head, because I could hear the song in my head. But they'll use samples from like brand new. There was another sample that this one guy used. I can't remember if it was Little Peep or if it was somebody else that used Ben Folds song, escaping my head, Such Great Heights. And like they're using that in their songs, and it's like almost an homage because they were fans of that style of music, but they're doing their own thing, which is cool. Like I'm all about like artists doing new things and new cool things, but I feel like people they don't know where those are coming from, especially the younger generations are just like, oh, I like that, it's cool that they wrote that, but they don't realize that like, no, they didn't write that, like that specific music part. Like they sampled it because they're paying homage to the stuff that they love.
Yeah.
But there's really no backstory, like,
Yeah, like the same shit, similar, happened in, what was it, 2018, 2019, whatever it was, when Post Malone had Ozzy on his album, and everyone's like, man, Post Malone just made that Ozzy guy famous.
Or Kanye
Yeah,
West.
there were a ton of memes with that. I remember
Oh
that.
my god, it was some of the dumbest shit ever.
With the Beatles.
Paul McCartney.
Paul McCartney.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Kanye West said he was the Beatles, so
Yeah, I mean, well, Kanye West says some of the most crazy stuff, but it's that's Kanye West. I mean, whatever. It's him.
how is that guy still relevant? I don't get it.
He's a genius. He makes himself relevant. He just knows how to play it to make himself relevant, even when whenever he wants to be. It's like I'm just gonna say some outlandish, shit, and everybody's gonna either hate it or love it, and I'm relevant. And you know,
Yeah, I mean, I get that because I do that kind of shit too, and I've done it before, and I'll probably do it again, just because I find it funny to troll people. Um, that's just me. But on the level that he's at, it's like, man, and I feel bad for the guy too because I don't know if it's genuine um, thought process of like, hey, I'm gonna do this and this is gonna be what's gonna happen, or if like because he's bipolar like I am, and I don't know if he's just out there just doing stupid shit for the sake of doing stupid shit without realizing that he's doing the stupid shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think he makes his publicist work really hard.
Yeah, that's very possible. But I remember, I think it was last year when the pandemic first kind of started and there was nothing on television. I decided to watch on Netflix the new David Letterman show that he does, where he goes around interviewing people, and he had Kim Kardashian on as one of his guests, and the whole family was in the crowd, including um, everybody, all the sisters, and Kanye was there too. However, Kanye was sitting there with glasses on, hoodie over his head, and just kind of sitting there like this the entire time. And she's sitting there talking about how, if you guys remember a few years back, like she was robbed at gunpoint or knife point in Paris. She's sitting there crying on stage, talking about this and all this other crap that's happened in her life, and the loss of her dad. And he's just sitting there stoic. Chris is crying. The other Kardashian sisters are crying, and just all up in arms. And he's just like, I'm like, you're fucking married to this woman. Like, dude, come on. But that's just me. I don't know. But fuck Kanye West. I've never hated a musician more than I've hated Kanye West. Yeah.
I think that I personally I don't really listen to his music or anything, but I feel like he's just planned everything in his head. And I think it's all mapped out. Everything's mapped out.
I said the same thing about Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah. No, I agree with that too.
Yeah.
100%
That whole thing with him and Eminem,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden now he's a punk pop artist.
Yeah.
And that was planned.
I mean, he's from Cleveland. He's surrounded himself with that music probably his entire life, and he just, decided to go this one way, and then he saw an opportunity to go after a market, and he used the whole system to get to where he's at. Like, I agree with you. It was all planned from that point to now. It was all pre-planned.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Get the rap community to hate you, and then jump to the rock community. And man, I'll tell you what, there's been a lot of bands I've talked to on this show. I've talked to over 120 bands on this show, and I would say at least 45 to 50% of them brought up that album. I didn't bring it up. They would bring it up. And they were like, man, it fucking rocks. I'm like, y'all, are we talking about the same Machine Gun Kelly? And then I went back and listened to it. I'm like, fuck, it's actually pretty fucking good.
It is.
Now when you have Travis Barker on drums, it's kind of hard not to have a good album, but still.
Yeah, I mean, he took the songwriting perspective from his rap career and manipulated it to, he can write good songs, and he obviously knew how to play guitar beforehand. Like I said, he grew up in Cleveland, and he's only a year older than me, so like he grew up in Cleveland the same time that I grew up, so he was around the style of music that like you and me have listened to for forever. So he's had those influences there. He he just chose a different path, and like now he's at a point where he's like, you know what, I can do this too because I know it. I grew up listening to it. I grew up probably playing it too, So he's just, again, he's using his what he has. He knows that I have a feeling he knows that this style of music is going to come back, and it's going to come back strong, and that's why he's stepping his foot into it now.
Yeah.
That's why it's, and that to me is a sign that like the bands that are coming out now are gonna start going places because you've got these bigger major artists trying to get their foot in the door with it too.
Yeah, like I just mentioned Miley Cyrus. She slowly started to come over to the rock side, and there was something that I didn't even know existed until like a week, 2 weeks ago. So there was that show on Netflix called Black Mirror.
Mm-hmm.
I've never watched an episode of it until like 2 weeks ago, and like during the last season, which was like 2 years ago, she did an episode, and in that episode, she's a pop artist, wanting to change her sound and wanting to do this and wanting to do that, and her management's like, no, 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 and throughout the entire show, she has this one song that is like really, really popular as a pop artist that kind of sounds like Nine Inch Nails had like a hole.
Huh.
And then at the end of the episode, after she, defeats her management and, is able to do what she wants to do, she's actually starts touring as a metal band. And you can see her at the end of the episode actually covering Head Like a Hole in its entirety. And I'm like, man, she told us 2 fucking years ago that she was going to do this. And now look at what she's doing. So, you're not wrong. I think there's going to be a huge resurgence.
Exactly. Yeah.
Of this type of music, and it's going to be because of people like that. And I hate saying that, thank you to them for that, because I wish, people like, the Avenged Sevenfolds of the world were able to, bring in that crowd, or, the Volbeats of the world were able to bring in the crowd and stuff like that. But you know what? I'll take it in any form it comes, because I would love to be able to see, metal and rock the way it was in the 80s come back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just rock in general on all fields is going to come back. It doesn't matter what style it is, but I have a feeling, yeah, it's going to definitely come back because of these artists, and I feel like there's got to be somebody at these major labels that's trying to predict the trends of music so that they can sell more and they can sell better. And somewhere down the line, they were like, okay, this is going to go happen. I mean, you and I have even talked about this, where there's always a resurgence of something in some form of way, like the emo rap and like the emo song, like those people grew up listening to the emo music, so now they're trying to do it in their own way, and all this, it comes back around. Everything comes back around as it goes. So it's gonna happen. It's just, we just gotta wait it out and get our foot in the door is basically what everybody's trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that sucks is, are they, once they make that full transition, or at least part transition, are they gonna start taking spots away from people like y'all?
That's where I feel like that's definitely gonna be an issue too. I mean, that's a very big possibility. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even some of the bigger bands.
Yeah.
Like, even though I'm not a big fan of them, like, say, for instance, Five Finger Death Punch. Now all of a sudden they're going to be opening for Post Malone, hypothetically. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I just see something like that happening,
Yeah,
and it's going to be there's going to be some inner turmoil because of it, I think, too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and also got to keep in mind the political climate. Like, there's a lot of bands out there that have just made risky political moves, and I'm not sitting here judging anybody on their political views, but like, that's either gonna make or break them. Like you could play the field as like, there's a lot of people like, oh, I want to be the most hated band in the world, because that if I'm the most hated band in the world, I'm gonna get everybody to pay attention to me and make me famous, and it works. Or you could be the opposite end, and we can all just turn into Dave Grohl and be the nice guy that everybody loves, you know, because, you know, yelling at people at your concert for fighting people.
Yep. I mean, if you still hate me, you're thinking of me. That's how I
Yeah,
look at it, you know?
exactly it.
That was a line from an El Nino song. Um, but you know, it's like, yeah, it's exactly that. You know, it's if you still hate me, you're thinking of me. So like, I was in I'm still am in a battle of idiots with the flat Earth community, and because I made a mistake of bringing on a flat Earth guy who is really really huge in their community, and I shit all over him and I shit all over the community, and I've been trolling him ever since. So now they seek me out and just to write nasty comments on my YouTube videos or they seek me out to post 1-star reviews on Spotify or Amazon or whatever, and it's like you guys are I haven't mentioned you guys in a while, and you guys are still coming after me, and all you're doing is every time you click on that, I don't care if you give me a 1-star review or not, you're clicking on my shit and it's helping my algorithm.
Yeah.
Thank you. Downvote me all you want, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's
I feel like today's world too, it's like if you put out a song, how well can it be memed? Like, how can somebody take that song and make a ridiculous meme out of it, and that's gonna get you popular as well?
I mean that happens every fucking day.
Yeah, but like, like you never know if that one meme's gonna go viral, and all of a sudden, you know, you see your play count drop from like 200 to like a million, like,
Yeah. I mean, look at like even though she's hugely famous, look at everybody that's even the rock world has jumped all over that fucking WAP song. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about, but there's a guy. I think he's in Denmark or maybe he's somewhere. He's somewhere over there in one of the Scandinavian countries, and his name is Leo Moricoli, and he owns his own record studio called Leapfrog Studios. So he's a big producer out there. But at the same time, when he's become a YouTube viral star by doing nothing but covering pop songs and making them metal. And he actually did that to WAP. Like, I mean, he made it a thrash song. And I was like, what the fuck is this? But then he's also done shit like Adele's Hello that is like hauntingly beautiful. As like a metal song. I'm like, what is this? So, it's shit like that that keeps that really kind of gets people's attention on you. If you can, turn something like that and, create a meme about it or whatever, it's gonna get you some fucking play.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
Especially now thanks to TikTok, shit like that is like the new fucking thing.
TikTok is a great marketing tool. Like, a lot of people knock it, and I can get why they knock it, but like, the reality of it is if you can get really successful on TikTok, like, you can be successful on all different platforms, because
Yeah.
TikTok, it's easy to make really quick edits. It's really easy to make content real quick and get it out there, and once it's out there, like, if it gets right algorithms going to it, it's just it's you know.
Yeah, that's the one I haven't really jumped on too much. I mean,
Like,
my biggest flow is Instagram.
yeah.
I've got close to 15,000 followers on Instagram, and that's where most of my downloads come, from and stuff like that. But even then, I'll see, people click on links that don't follow me, and it's like, it's so I know that there's more opportunity out there. So I got to jump on that fucking bandwagon.
I did a video. I have just really started getting into the whole TikTok thing, and I like my third video ever on TikTok, like, got 700 views with like 15 people following me at that point. So it's like, all right, where, obviously there's, if I bring up the follower count more and more and it gets into the right places, like, it's possible to get really really high numbers on TikTok, and they're going to translate. If you plug your stuff and you tell people to go here, go here, go here, and they actually listen and they follow it, it can become a really good
Yeah.
marketing tool.
I think the most views I because I do it sporadically, and I think that's part of the problem. Because like YouTube, I mean, not YouTube, TikTok will, you know, play you more and put you on the For You page, the more content you put out. So if you just spam 20 videos in a day, they're more likely to do shit for you. So I don't do that. So, but I had one video that kind of went semi-viral, like 20,000 views, which is like kind of sort of big, but not really. I only have 700 followers, so I know that there's some potential there. But that was like the only one that I ever had, and it was just a story about me trolling a Karen in a doctor's office. But so I know there's some potential there. It's just a matter of making it happen, and actually putting forth the effort, because that's one thing that sucks about the entertainment business. You've got to. There's now 4 major platforms, and now there's another one that's TikTok similar called Clapper, which is starting to make a name for itself. But like, if you're not on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok all doing the exact same thing, that's a full-time job in itself on top of the content that you're producing. So it's like, come follow me here so you can watch me or listen to me here. And if you're not doing all of that, it's you're basically working 2 full-time jobs, and if you have a full-time job on top of that, you're working 3 full-time jobs. So it sucks.
Yeah, during this whole process of writing, recording, and doing for everything for this album that we're having coming out soon, like, I'm working a full-time job, Joey's working a full-time job, Jack's working a full-time job, Steven's working a full-time job. We're trying to find time to go to Richmond to record all this. We're practice schedules and doing social media schedules on top of and all this all at one time. And there's 4 of us, but it's hard for us to actually constantly have everything. We have to pre-plan everything. That's the only way we can get it done is to pre-plan social media schedules and pre-plan all this stuff. Otherwise we'd lose our minds. I mean,
yep.
80 hours in 2 weeks at work, and then countless hours here, it's the name of the game, and that's just what it is. But
yeah,
it gets rough, and people don't see that side. They just see what you present, and they don't see the hours that you put in a room with a bunch of sound equipment, you see behind us, of just jamming stuff out or just jamming songs, and the hours and hours it takes to do that, and then the hours and hours it takes to get it to its finished form. And then all they see is, oh, we're here today, hi guys, how are you?
Yep. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of in the same situation. So last year I quit my job in July or June, whatever it was, to focus on the podcast and really start kind of working on my comedy, 100% full time, because I've been doing everything, part time for so long. And I was like, what, fuck it, this is it. This is an opportunity, now to really kind of shine when there's something else going on. And for a while there, I was doing really well, for 6 or 8 months. But then sponsorship started to kind of fall off. I've gained listeners, I've gained viewers, and I've gained all these different things. But the sponsors were like, yeah, well, we need to make some changes. We're gonna go over here. We're gonna do this, whatever. We'll get back with you once everything kind of opens up again. And it's like, shit. So I had to go and get a fucking full-time job, and it's like, god damn it. So now it's like my 2 days off, I cram in, 5 to 8 podcasts I can, or if I can't cram them all in on those 2 days off, as soon as I get off of work, because I'm a server, because I refuse to go back to work for corporate America. I work at a restaurant that's privately owned. I come home from work and I immediately jump on fucking, the podcast, and I do a podcast at 10 and 11 o'clock at night. So it's like I'm constantly always doing something, and it's just like, damn it, I cannot wait for shit to open back up again. I'm just ready to get back out there and, hopefully being able to get back to where I was.
Yeah, I think once stuff opens up for this band, at least, a tour will be like a vacation for us. When you could be on the road and just focus only on music for a little bit, that's gonna be great, because we don't have to worry about all we have to worry about is social media and music. We don't have to worry about jobs. We don't have to worry about home. We don't have to worry about all this other stuff. We could just focus on what we're doing in the moment in real time.
Yeah. I wish I could say that, but unfortunately it will never happen, because for me, this show is a full-time job on its own. Yeah. And when I because when you're getting 50, 60,000 downloads a day, if you take a week off, you can see a dip, and it's like, ooh, I got to keep putting that content out there.
We see I see the numbers at least in the dips. If we're not constantly putting something out on a regular basis, you can see the numbers, and then it's such a struggle to get that back. Like, I don't know if you probably notice it, but it's like if you see that dip and then you try to get it back, like you almost have to do double time just to get that back, and then it's like, okay, this sucks. Yeah.
But I've had a couple big comedians say, hey, as soon as I'm able to tour again, I want you to come and do this for me, and I want you to be my opener or feature, whatever you want to call it. But while I'm on the road doing that, I'm gonna have to be doing a fucking podcast, so I can't even fucking I'm gonna have to bring all my equipment with me, do it in a hotel room or at a bar or whatever, and it's gonna be like, cool, all right, so I'm gonna have to be doing double time all the time. So yeah, I hear that. I would love a vacation from it all and just go out and do comedy all the time.
Yeah.
But that's just not even. Man, my life is gonna be busy. I'm never gonna get a break. I'm gonna die young.
Yeah, I can definitely relate. I know the feeling on that. I remember like when COVID hit, thinking that I was gonna have more time for things. Ended up going back to school, working, and then continuing with music and everything. So loaded myself a ton, but now I've got to keep it moving.
Yeah.
So to speak, I guess. I don't know, but
yeah, absolutely, and it's one of those things. You just, like you said, I mean, it's a never-ending battle, because if you're not doing it, somebody else is going to do it for you, and then they're going to take it away from you. There's always somebody chasing you. And even though they might not be chasing you directly, they're trying to get what you have, even though they might not even know who you are. They're still coming for you because they're coming for everybody, and they're gonna take it. And if you're not trying harder, they're trying hard enough. There's somebody out there trying harder. Just gotta take it hard.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing too. Just not stopping. I feel like probably for about the last 6 years has been just recording new content, continue. And it's like the second that falls, I know that was pretty scary with the pandemic and everything, possibly losing that push. I'm happy that we were able to record through it, continue writing and move. But yeah, even noticed that before the pandemic, like if you're dropping the ball with not having new content right away.
Well, was it Rory made a point too with Rory, the guy that did our music video, he made a point that is stuck with me, and it's been like, like even on your personal like Facebook and your personal this and the third, like you've got to really like push to people like, yeah, this is my life. This isn't just something I do for the shits and giggles of doing it. This is my life. Like, if you want to support me as a human being, like you got to pay attention to this part of my life, and like,
yep,
and that's where that is, like it's.
You're not wrong. So we got the new LP coming out in June, a full-length album, and I've talked about this in excess, probably too much on the show, but I like to get everyone's opinion on it because it's just one of those things I just love talking about. In today's day and age of doing, it's all about playlists, it's all about singles. Why still do a LP?
I think the big thing with an LP, we've all been in bands for like years, and I feel like at some point, like I know personally, like I feel like when I'm on the job, I'm writing songs, or when I'm off the job, I'm writing songs, I'm writing down lyrics, I'm doing something, and it's kind of like the gears are always turning to where it's like could do a single, but at the same point, like I tend to focus on a lot at once, and it never really stops, so like I know the single thing, people say that's better for the playlisting right now, but I don't know what I would do with all that extra energy if I wasn't writing more. But then it's also like, trying to perfect that craft, I guess, all the time, continuing to write, might as well go full at that point. So
I mean, that's a good, honest opinion. I mean, everyone has their own take on it, which I just love hearing the take on it because again, it's so everyone's so all over the board on it. You know, no, I'm just gonna release EPs. No, I'm gonna release an LP because I put my heart and soul into all 10 or 12 tracks. Or no, it's a concept record, so I got to put out an LP. Or you know what I'm saying? There's so many different ideas behind it. You know what I mean?
rolling off of that real quick. So this is actually a concept record coming out right now. And it's a continuation off of the first one from about 2 years ago. So I know that's been part of it. I think like the drive to continue going on like that. There's just a lot to be said. I feel like the story's still developing, and yeah, it's kind of got its own thing going on. So
So there in itself is the best answer ever. I mean, it's a concept album. Fuck it, this is
Yeah.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we got to. That's what you guys got to do. I mean, I love listening to concept albums. Love it because it's one of those things where you've got to listen to it cover to cover. In order to get that whole effect. And that's what I love about bands like Go Aid and Cambria or September Morning or bands that just specifically focus on concept albums and really kind of drive that story home. I love that.
Right.
Yeah, one thing I'll add on to that real quick. So I worked in social work for a while, and then also like in the mental health field and stuff. And I think a lot when it comes to concept album type deal or like writing a lot is a way to kind of like separate from the job sometimes. So I think like part of it has been a lot of like writing a concept based on seeing things, what you experience, what's going on to other people in the world, even in society, and like writing off of that. Yeah, I don't know.
Did you
No,
talk about
that's
and the stuff about the?
I didn't go into all that yet.
Yeah,
But,
so we're like with this we're trying to it ties in the first LP.
oh yeah,
You
went
talked
into
about that?
yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's what I was asking Joey.
Yeah, and I love that. I love that whole tie-in. I mean, because that's that's what great bands do. They have that continuation, that that follow that same pattern, and really kind of hone in on it. I mean, Cohen and Cambria is, like I said, one of the best that does it. I mean they've wrote so many different stories, with the Amory Wars, and now they're into the Unheavenly Creatures and all this other stuff. And it's like, okay, now I can't wait to hear what happens next. Because you follow along with the comic books too, and you follow along with this, and you follow along with that. One thing that I wish they did more of is like, included like animation or storytelling with their music videos, which they don't. But that's how Claudio wants to do it. I'm not going to knock it. So, but we have the comic book. I'm cool with that. But is that a direction that you guys are wanting to go as well with it?
That's actually where that's headed. We're working with Cassie Podish right now, just with the artwork and stuff. She's done Less Than Jake, Census Fail, a few other bands in that realm. A lot of it has been trying to figure out how we're going to tell the story. We've done it through the artwork so far, just kind of running concept with the art from the last album into the new one. I thought about the comic book route a little bit, different things like that. But I know right now the big thing has been trying to explain it through the artwork as well. Funny enough, so like the first album was actually done solo, didn't really go in for like the full band photos and everything like that. So it was more about telling the story through the artwork for that to be the content going out. And now that we are full band, we have the option to show it through the music videos, show it through the photos, really to kind of continue it from all aspects. But I think the artwork portion of it is still like really heavy, like in the direction that we're heading with it. So yeah,
I mean, we're even thinking about like the future with the story for this too already. Like it was like literally like a week after getting out of the studio. I haven't even gotten like all the roughs listened through and all that stuff, and we're just like, all right, what are we gonna do next? Like, because like the story, like we really want to like be able to tell the story as fluently as as clear as possible. And I think with the team that we're working with right now, with the music videos and Cassie with the artwork and all this, that we're gonna really start getting into the little details here soon enough to really start pushing this story hard.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And you know, I love that you brought up, you know, mental health and stuff like that too, because that's one thing I advocate for immensely on this show. Like I said before, I'm bipolar and I suffer from anxiety and also suffer from PTSD as well. Um, so you know, that's one of the themes of the show is, you know, mental health and music, you know, coming together as one. And you know, whether I talk about it directly in every episode or not, you know, that's always the underlying theme, because music is, in my opinion, one of the biggest, you know, not cures, but for lack of a better word, cure to mental health, at least in that moment. You know, it could be a song, it could be a sappy song, it could be a happy song, it could just be a song about whatever. I mean, something stupid. It could be a comedy song for all I know. But whatever gets you through that moment, music is a huge thing for mental health. So I love when people bring that up, man.
I mean, like, I don't know if Joey's talked about like what me and him both do for a living, like right now, other than the music. But like, we both work. Like, I work at an agency where with kids with like autism and psychiatric issues and mental health issues and stuff like that. And you know, they have music therapy. There's like where what I do is like I help the kids implement like their coping skills, and a lot of them those kids have like music with their coping skills to deal with whatever they're trying to deal with, whether it be, you know, anger, or if it be depression, or whatever it is. Like, you know, we try to get them to use those coping skills effectively. And I know that's something similar, you know, you do very similar work, at a different level, but like, you know, just similar work. I'm like at the bottom of the totem pole, and he's trying to get to like a higher level on the totem pole. But we both work in the mental health field in a way, and mental health's always been a big key thing with this band. So yeah.
That's awesome, and I love that. Um, you guys just became one of my favorites.
You know,
I mean, I've been listening to your stuff, and I love your stuff. So I mean,
Hey,
so
thanks.
but you know, I always love, you know, one of the ideas I love about my show and the way I planned it out was the fact that, yeah, we can listen to a band and fall in love with their music all day long, but until you know who they are and we have conversations like this, that connection isn't there. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, I've heard 1,000 interviews with, you know, with them talking, like Avenged Sevenfold, for example, who's my favorite band of all time. You know, when they talk about Jimmy and the death that happened in 2010 or 9 or whatever it was when he died, you know, that's what I care about. I don't care about your new single. I'll find out about it. It's gonna come through my fucking playlist. I'll get a notification. It'll happen. But who the fuck are you? And that's what I care about the most. And that's why we've barely talked about your music on this show, because that's not what this show's about. I want to know who you guys are. We're going to get to the music. We're going to have some fun with it, especially now that I know that you're 20 minutes that way.
Yeah.
I would love to do something with you guys for your or your album release.
Hey, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely about it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's funny you say it, because like I still constantly am. I troll like YouTube and everything for like interviews with the bands, or behind the scenes things for bands and stuff like that, because I want to know what they're about. And then like there's one band that like stuck out to me here very recently, because like I've been going through some stuff, and Modern Baseball, they have like this little documentary, and like one of the singers was like in this really 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 dark place, and like it has a video of him in the studio basically writing the lyrics to the song on the spot, and he's in the middle of tracking it, and he's got tears coming down his eyes because of the connection to it. And it's like, and you know, like that side you don't see, and that's what I feel like a big disconnect in the music community now is just you see these artists, and you don't see them as people, you see them as a product. And I feel like that's where we're missing that connection to the fan bases. Is like you see these diehard fans, and they'll say this band saved my life, and then they develop a connection to that artist
Mm-hmm.
through their music. but there's a lot of disconnect happening on the lower level of that. And like, there's some, but I feel like if we can find a way to connect to people more on a personal and emotional level, like through interviews, through talking to people, through having conversations, through supporting charitable foundations that we genuinely believe about, which is something this band really does, is we want to help charitable organizations that we really truly genuinely support. We just did something for Autism Acceptance Month. We did something for Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. Like, and we want to continue that because we want to be able to connect with people and share that human side of us as well.
Yeah, one thing I do want to share real quick. So a lot of the driving force for me with writing music kind of comes from like the mental health and different things that you see revolving it. Fortunately, man, it must have been like 2016 at this point, but a client that I had worked with actually passed away, and the process with a lot of that, specifically with this child's age, that's always the big kicker to it. Um, but like a lot of the songwriting and lyrical stuff now has been about providing a voice or talking about experiences, trying to kind of like keep memories going, so to speak. um I think after seeing certain things or like going through certain things on the job, making sure that we can promote a message to give those people a voice or to kind of keep their memory going. So a lot of
That's awesome.
a lot of the music's kind of about that, I guess, so to speak. And the reason that like the mental health stuff is so important, really to kind of get it. Not only did it like, you see the effects that it's left on certain people, but then for us as well, and then trying to also process and handle through it, I guess. Overall awareness and driving it, keeping it going. So
That's fucking awesome, man. It really fucking is, man. That's so badass. That touched me on just like another fucking level. Um, yeah, you're not wrong, man. I back in December, with a bunch of earshots, bands. I did a 6 hour stream of music, live music and stuff like that for Toys for Tots.
yeah,
And we ended up doing we ended up raising like $5,000.
Nice.
It was such a good night. But yeah, I had like 15, bands come on. I had like a bunch of comedians come on, and we just had a great fucking time. So, I'll be doing that again this year. I can tell you that much. Um, but yeah, charity work and doing all that kind of stuff is where it's at, and I absolutely love it. And I love that you guys do that kind of stuff too, man. You guys are just like chipping away at my fucking heartstrings and making me love you guys even more.
thanks, man.
So I see you brought the acoustic out.
Yep.
We talked a little bit about you guys playing a song and kind of having a little bit of fun with us. So why don't we go ahead and do that now?
So yeah, I figured since we're talking a lot about mental health and stuff like that, that I'd play a song.
I'm sorry to hear that.
not so bad here. I've come to know my place. It's not so bad here. As the loneliness fades away, I'll sit in the silence, admire the quiet, and I will have no fear. It's not so bad here. Knowing you're still there. Well, thank you for always and constantly sheltering me from underneath all the storms I created my own head. Well, thank you for always having my back when I'm taking punches from the guts I lack, and I wouldn't trade you for anyone. No, I wouldn't trade you for anyone. It's not so bad here. I've come to know my place. It's not so bad here. As the loneliness fades away, I'll sit in the silence, admire the quiet, and I will have no fear. It's not so bad here. Knowing you're still there. Not so bad here. I've come to know my place. It's not so bad here. As the loneliness fades away, I'll sit in the silence, admire the quiet, and I will have no fear. It's not so bad here. Thank you.
Damn. Just wow. Guys, thank you.
Anytime.
That's all I gotta
It's
say.
20 minutes away. Now we really gotta do stuff in the future.
Oh hell yeah. Hell yeah. But yeah, we'll talk offline and we'll see what we can come up with when we're done here. But yeah, you guys, man, have definitely pulled at my heartstrings, and yeah. So guys at home or watching on YouTube, check out the links for their stuff down below. The new album comes out in June. Look for us to do something with that. Hopefully, we'll be able to pull something off really cool for you guys. And I can't express my gratitude enough for you guys. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, this was a great time. Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem. And guys at home, thank you so much for joining us on this Wednesday. I really, truly appreciate you guys. I love every single one of y'all. Make sure y'all stay healthy, stay happy. I can't. Let me try this again. Stay happy, stay healthy, and as always, stay fucking heavy. We'll see y'all fucking later. Peace.